Hi, welcome to my video on the average rate of change, linear function, number 1. The average rate of change is the slope of the line, except a vertical line which has no slope, for all linear functions. Note the domain has the values of greater than or equal to 0, because we're talking about real life problems. Find the equation of the function. Find the equation function notation form for each. And function notation is the d of x, the v of x. So we have a distance, which is the vertical, and horizontal is time. So the slope is distance over time. So if we have any graph, the distance, if you leave 0 and go up, you're going up 20 and you're going right 2. So the slope is 20 over 2, and that's 10. So that's 10 feet, and the time is an hour, so it's 10 feet per hour. So the d equals mt plus b. So the d of t, the slope is 10 t, it's feet per hour, plus b. We need the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is 0. So the d of t equals 10t plus 0. So that means it's 10t. d of t is equal to 10t, representing, again, the average rate of change is the slope. Now we have another one, and v is for volume in cubic centimeters. Vertical is volume, and we have time. But notice that this one is starting off at, and again, I didn't put any numbers in here, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 8. So the volume is 1. So the y-intercept is 1, and the slope will rise 1, 2, and run 1, 2, 3. So the slope is up to right 3, and it's cubic centimeters divided by the time is in minutes. So v of t equals mt plus b. So the slope is 2/3 t plus y-intercept is 1. So that's the equation in the function notation form that represents this graph or this problem we want to say. It could be a water flowing cubic. It could be a volume of a container being filled up at this rate, which is volume in a minute. So it's 2/3 cubic centimeters per minute. Let's continue. F of x equals 3x plus 2. Find the average rate of change. And the average rate of change is the slope. So the slope on this line, so the average rate of change is 3, because 3 is the slope. You can change the equation to y equals 3x plus 2, where 3 is the slope, but this is the function notation. F of x could be a y, so 3 is the slope. Find the average rate of change from x plus 2 to x plus 9. Now, if you went to work these out, remember the average rate of change is the slope of the line. Because it's a linear, it's the slope of the line. So the average rate of change from x plus 4 to x plus 9, the slope is 3. So even though I got an x plus 4 and I got an x plus 9, it makes no difference. The slope will still be 3, because these are points. No matter if x is 0 and you got a 4 to a 9, or if x is 1, you got a 5 to a 10, you're still going to have a slope of 3. Even if I worked all this out with x plus 4, I would still get a slope of 3. And let me show that. Let's do the f of x plus 4. The f of x plus 4 is 3 times x plus 4 plus 2. So that's 3x plus 12 plus 2. So that's 3x plus 14. And let's work out the f of x plus 9. Now I'm doing all this just to show you. So I'm show you that I'm still going to come up with a 3. So x plus 9 is going in the place of x. So I get 3 times x plus 9 plus 2. 3x plus 27 plus 2. So that's 3x plus 29. So this point here, I have x plus 4, and the f of x is 3x plus 14. And right here I got an x plus 9, and I have a 3x plus 29. So the slope, average rate of change is the slope. So this is, you could say x1, y1, x2, y2. So the slope formula is y2, which is 3x plus 29, minus 3x plus 14, and x2 is x plus 9 minus x plus 4. So that gives me 3x plus 29 minus 3x minus 14. That's a negative, so we multiply negative 1 by these two. And this x plus 9, multiply the negative by x plus 4, gives you negative x minus 4. And that 3x cancels out, so I get 29 to subtract 14 is 15. The x's cancel, and I get a 5, and that works out to be a 3. So again, even though I did all this work, the slope on this line is 3. The average rate of change is 3. On any line, linear, the slope is the average rate of change, except when it's vertical, just no slope. Okay, let's do some more. The length of a rectangle is a function of the width. If the length is 4 more than twice the width. Let's go through a series of questions now based on this statement. The length is 4 more than twice the width. Write an equation representing the relationship between the length and the width. So if the length is L and the width is W, then the length is 4 more than twice the width. So it's twice the width plus 4. So the length is a function of the width. And in relation to this, state the rate of change. And the rate of change is the slope. So the slope here, so the rate of change is 2, because the slope. So this equation is like y equals mx plus b. So again, the length is a function of the width. You plug in the width here and you'll get the length. So the rate of change is 2. The domain is, again, we have an ordered pair. We got a W and an L. So that means that's the domain and that's the range. That's like an X. That's like the X and the Y. W, the length is a function of W. So we have domain and range. So the domain is W. So W got to be greater than 0, and it got to belong to the real numbers. Notice, in order for to exist, W cannot be 0, because if W was 0, then we wouldn't have any relationship. If W is 0, then again, in doing problems, we could have the W 0. We could say equal to 0, but if W is equal to 0, then we would have no length. So really, you can say W is greater than or equals 0, and the length would be 4. But if you had equal to 0, you wouldn't have any length. So you can't say the width is in relation to a geometric figure. So I'd be inclined to go W is greater than 0, where W belongs to the reals. Looking at this equation, you could say W is 0 and the length is 4. Yes, that would be true, but in doing a problem with length and width, if we have no W, we have no length, we would have no area. So I'm inclined to go with W is greater than 0, belongs to the reals. And if W is greater than 0, according to this equation, W is greater than 0, then the length got to be greater than 4. So it's greater than 4, and the length belongs to the reals. Again, in geometry, the width and the length can't be 0 because you have no figure to deal with. E, find the average rate of change in the length when the width changes from 3 to 5. Notice the equation. The length is twice the width plus 4, and the rate of change is the slope. So the rate of change is 2. If I want to work it out, I'm still going to get a 2. So I can work it out for 3, put 3 in here. So if I take 3, I'll just work it out. If I take 3 and plug it in here, 2 times 3 is 6 plus 4 is 10. If I put 5 in, put a 5 in to this equation, I'm going way up there, but let's go here. Put 5 in, 2 times 5 is 10, so 5 gives me a 14. So the slope is, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that's 4 over 2, which is 2. But I knew I was going to get a 2 because this is the equation in which the length is a function of the width. The slope here is 2. So therefore, without working this out for 3 and 5 like I did here, I knew I was going to get a 2. This is in this equation. Okay, let's look at another little problem, different. Find the average rate of change in the graph. Interest on a loan for 6 months. So this is the interest on a loan, and the interest on a loan is 4%. 4% here, and here, and here, all the way along for 6 months. And it goes on for 6 months. And so what's the average rate of change? So the average rate of change is the slope. And the slope on this line is 0 because we have a horizontal line. We have a horizontal line. So in a horizontal line, the horizontal line has a slope of 0. Well, let's just take 2 points on this line. So this line is, we have 4%. So we have 4% everywhere on this line. So let's take 1 month right here. So 1 month, we have 4%. And we have, take second month, we have 4%. So the rate, again, I can put a percent in here like this. So 4%, subtract 4%. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's 0 over 1 or 0. I could have worked it out like I did, yes, perfect. Or I noticed I have a horizontal line, and this horizontal line is when the interest, that means the interest rate is 4% everywhere on this line. It's like y equals 4, horizontal line, which has a slope of 0. That's just looking at the average rate of change is on a linear function. The average rate of change is the slope. And if you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.